How's it going, guys? I'm Mike Dwyer from the Bunker Recordings and BetterMixes.com, and I've got a really cool tip for you today. I'm going to show you how to take a pretty lousy guitar tone and make it awesome. A lot of people say you just got to get it right at the source, you have to record it right. And while that's definitely ideal, it's not always an option. If going back and re-recording the guitars with a better tone isn't an option and you don't have a DI, I want to show you that there's still something you can do. So let's take a look at our crappy guitar tone here. So really bright, super harsh, brittle, just unpleasant overall. So the first thing you want to do is import a guitar sound that you really like. You can grab this in another session if you've got it, or if you can find guitar stems online somewhere that you really like, whatever. So I've imported this here from another session I was working on, called it Rad Guitar Tone. So let's just take a quick listen to that. And again, just as a reminder, this is the tone we're currently working with. So now what we're going to do is put a FabFilter EQ on both of these. It doesn't have to be the FabFilter, but it needs to be an EQ with a match function. I think Isotope has one, Waves has one. I'm sure there's a few others out there. So on Pro Q3, we go down here and set the side chain, which is our reference tone, to Rad Guitar Tone. And as you can see, this red line represents Rad Guitar Tone. And then if we put our guitars through it, the white line is ours. So now we're going to hit EQ match, set the reference to Rad Guitar Tone, and I have this chorus looped here, and I'm going to let it play through that whole thing. You want to loop a pretty long section here, because since the two guitars are playing totally different things, different notes on different parts of the fretboard and different strings, by letting it go for a while, it gets a good average of the guitar tone. All right, that should be long enough. We'll hit match and finish. Let's hear what that does. It's probably not quite there yet. We're going to have to make some tweaks, but this should get us fairly close. And let's just bypass that to see where we started. Okay, so it's closer. Still a little funky, but closer. So next we want to go through and make sure that all these EQ moves are actually doing something we want them to do. Because again, since they were playing different parts, our reference tone might have some areas exaggerated that we don't want in our guitars. So I'm going to go through and take a listen to what some of these bands are doing and probably end up getting rid of some of them. So yeah, that one right there, you could hear that was not adding anything good. Just adding that kind of weird whistly thing, so we want to get rid of some of that. Let's see what this one's doing. So that one I actually really like. It's adding some nice brightness and articulation that I like. So let's keep checking these. So yeah, like some of these up here, we just don't need because they're so high up. We really don't have any usable information there in our guitar, so we can get rid of those. And usually we'll want to keep most of these tight cuts here. They're getting rid of those weird resonances that we were hearing, but you can double check them just to make sure none of them are hurting the guitar tone. So now we're in much better shape. Let's do another before and after. Just going to turn auto gain on here, which should more or less compensate for any level differences when we bypass the EQ. Okay, so that's a lot better. So next we're going to go down here and go to our gain scale here. It defaults to 100%, and you can either crank that up or bring it down. And we're just going to dial it back a little bit, because usually 100% is just a little too much. Cool, so I'm liking that somewhere around 75%. I feel like this guitar tone should be just a tiny bit brighter, so I'm just going to bring our low end boost down here just a little bit. Great, and that's our finished guitar tone. We'll do one more before and after. This is before. And after. So from here, you can do any additional processing you want, any compression or any extra EQ or effects or whatever. And again, while it may not be as good as recording a super badass tone to begin with, this definitely makes it a whole lot better and can make the difference between a so-so mix and a really solid one. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to get more tips like this in the future.